The Minnesota Timberwolves have an ultimate meltdown in Game 5 versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, which ended their season. Another ending in the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back years. But on this podcast, I'm going to give you so much hope you're not going to know what to do with it. Really. There's a lot of hope for the Minnesota Timberwolves moving forward. And what they're building and who Anthony Edwards could become. So I want you to hold on to your hats for that. But first, I need you to check out 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis, because they can transform your bathroom in 48 hours like they did ours. We did not wait 6 to 8 weeks for our project to get done. They finished it in 48 hours. We went from a moldy, disgusting, embarrassing, and outdated bathroom, and in 48 hours, we had our masterpiece. New floor. They got rid of an ugly step that went into the shower. New bathtub. New surround. New vanity. Went from a single sink to a double sink. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis transformed our bathroom, and they will do it for you as well. Affordable payment plans, free consultations. Give them a call. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Check them out today. They're called 5-Star Bathroom Solutions for a reason. 5-star. It's what they do. 5-star projects. All right. The Timberwolves get pummeled 124-94. Not surprising at all. The series went exactly as I anticipated. I predicted the Thunder in 5. And the final game went exactly as I expected. The Timberwolves did not show up. They scored 9 points in the first quarter. They scored 32 points at halftime. The Thunder more than doubled the Timberwolves' point totals in the first half, leading 65-32. And the Timberwolves lose by 30. They were walking zombies. The effort, the intensity. They had already reserved and booked their vacations. So I found Game 5's performance more laughable than anything. I was literally sitting on the couch, because I don't take these games personally, laughing at the Timberwolves' performance versus the Thunder. They started out 3 of 17, 1 of 7 from threes. Chris Finch gets a technical, arguing a foul call during a timeout. The Timberwolves start 1 of 11. Jaden McDaniels missing corner 3 after corner 3. Then went 3 for 20, 1 for 9 from threes, 4 turnovers. And the most disgusting statistic of the game was at halftime. The Timberwolves had more turnovers than made shots in the first half of Game 5. They had 14 turnovers at halftime, and they had made 12 field goal shots. It was a disaster. This week on Monday, I had orange chicken. It was spicy orange chicken, and it was one of the best foods I've had. Since then, I've had diarrhea for 4 straight days. And my diarrhea for 4 straight days has been a more enjoyable experience than watching the Timberwolves basketball game in Game 5. We turned the game off in the second quarter. We were done. We went to bed at 9 o'clock last night. It was a rough one. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And post-game press conference, Mike Conley looked down. Anthony Edwards was joyful, as he always is. He said, I ain't hurting. I got a lot of these to go. And here's where the hope comes in. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been in back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearances, which is very good for the experience aspect of things. The fact that Anthony Edwards, at 23 years old, has already experienced back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearances can only be a good thing. But here's where the hope is so extraordinary that it's going to blow your mind. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP of the league. It was a debate between him and Nikola Jokic, but in reality, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was always going to be the MVP. And you look at what he was in 2021, 2022, when he was Anthony Edwards' age. He was putting up 24.5 points a game. His stats were nice. The Oklahoma City Thunder, their record when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was 23 years old was 24 and 58. They were the bottom feeders of the Western Conference when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was 23 years old, the same age as Anthony Edwards is now. And I did not hear people proclaiming that SGA was a superstar when he was 23. I push back against the superstar narrative that people want to say Anthony Edwards is, because he still has so much of his game to improve. But with that said, the dude still has time to create and be a consistent NBA superstar player. He turns 24 in August, so he'll be 24 next year. And I looked at the list of NBA champions and players that have won NBA championships and teams that have won. Boston Celtics last year, Jason Tatum was 26 years old. The Denver Nuggets the year before in 2023, Nikola Jokic was 28 years old. The Golden State Warriors in 2022, they were in their 30s. The Milwaukee Bucks in 2021, Giannis was 26 years old. The Lakers in 2020, LeBron was in his 30s. The Toronto Raptors in 2019, Kawhi Leonard was in his prime. The Golden State Warriors in 2018. My point being is that when you look at the list of NBA champions, I don't even know how far you have to go to find a guy that was their best player on their team that was 23 years old. The point I'm making is that Anthony Edwards is still a toddler in an NBA where superstars win championships. Anthony Edwards is an all-star toddler. He is not a superstar toddler. And he is going to grow up in these next few years and become a superstar NBA talent, because he is not one yet. And the Timberwolves have about 3 years to form the best team and roster around Anthony Edwards. And the fact that the Timberwolves made it to back-to-back Western Conference Finals when Edwards was 22 and 23 years old is just a sign of great things to come. Because he's put himself in a position to have this experience moving forward when he's ready to take that superstar NBA championship step. So when you really take it all into consideration, the fact that the Timberwolves have competed in back-to-back Western Conference Finals is a great thing. And yeah, they lost both times in 5. And they were definitely the team that was worse. The Mavericks and Oklahoma City Thunder were definitely the better teams from everything. Defensively, offensively, rebounding, turnovers. The Timberwolves, it's one thing to make the Western Conference Finals. It's another to make the NBA Finals. And the Wolves still have so far to go to make the NBA Finals. They really weren't even close this year. Sure, they made it one series away, but they had no chance to beat the Thunder. The Timberwolves still have a lot of work to do, a lot of roster reconstruction. But the fact that they are already where they are, and the fact that Edwards has the experience, is a very, very good thing. And you look at the roster, and I'll just run through the list of who can be a championship player. Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, they can be members of a championship team. Rudy Gobert, no. Mike Conley will be retired. Julius Randle, no. So you're looking at 3 different players that you need to replace in your starting lineup. Edwards and McDaniels can remain, but you need to replace Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, and Mike Conley for this team to be a championship level team. And I do love Terrence Shannon Jr. off the bench, and maybe he could be a starter one day. Maybe Jaden McDaniels or Terrence Shannon Jr. could play the 4, and we could get that whole thing rolling. But Randle, when he faces adversity, falters. Rudy Gobert is too inconsistent, offensively and defensively and rebounding. And Mike Conley's late 30s, so he'll be retired by the time the Timberwolves are ready to win a championship. So there's a lot of different roster reconstruction that needs to happen. There's a lot of moving pieces, but the Timberwolves have a lot of hope. And the fact that Edwards, when he is 23, and when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was 23, the Thunder were bottom feeders. 3 years later, in the NBA Finals, and he's the MVP of the league. So don't crown Anthony Edwards as the MVP superstar-esque player yet. He will get there. He will get there. But he's not that guy yet. Just like Shai wasn't when he was 23. So don't melt. Although Game 5 was embarrassing, because the Timberwolves really are in a great place. They're in a great spot. 23-year-old players don't win NBA championships. The NBA is a league dominated by players ages 26 to 30. And the Timberwolves still have 3 years until Anthony Edwards gets to that age. So hold on to your hats and don't freak out. Just got to get Edwards to 26 before he demands a trade. Thank you for watching and listening. Remember, 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Check them out today, and they will give you a bathroom masterpiece in 48 hours. That's what they did for us. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Thank you for watching and listening, and everyone have a great day.